We begin this broadcast in West Asia, where U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has held talks with UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan on Monday as for efforts to prevent the Israel-Hamas conflict from escalating. Blinken is scheduled to meet with Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman at Al Ula before proceeding to Israel. It marks Blinken's fourth trip to the region since the conflict erupted on 7th October. Meanwhile, Israel's Defense Minister Yoav Gallant said that the intensity of the offensive in Gaza signaled his country's determination to destroy the militant group Hamas that rules the enclave and to deter other potential Iran-backed adversaries, including Hezbollah in Lebanon. My basic view, we are fighting an axis, not a single enemy, Gallant told the Wall Street Journal newspaper published from the US. He said Iran is building up military power around Israel in order to use it, unquote. In some more news, Israel's troops struck 30 Hamas targets in Khan Yunis. The locations were allegedly used for storing weapons. The Israeli army identified 10 terrorists and directed a drone that targeted them in the area. The troops also tracked down a vehicle laden with explosives and a tunnel shaft in the central part of Gaza. On Monday, an Israeli airstrike in southern Lebanon resulted in the death of the deputy head of a unit within Hezbollah's elite Radwan force. Another Hezbollah fighter was also killed in the airstrike. The ongoing Israeli strikes against Hezbollah targets in southern Lebanon, which started after Hamas's attack on Israeli territory on 7th October, has now led to the death of more than 130 Hezbollah fighters. Germany's Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock on Sunday announced that Berlin will allow deliveries of the Eurofighter jets to Saudi Arabia. The Eurofighter is a joint venture by the UK, Germany, Spain and Italy. Addressing a conference in Jerusalem, Minister Baerbock called on Israel to do more to protect civilians in Gaza. Germany's foreign ministry says Israel can count on our staunch solidarity in the fight against blind terrorism.
Denn es wird immer klarer.
It is becoming more and more clear. Israel army must do more to protect civilians in Gaza. It must find a way to fight Hamas without so many people dying or to be injured. The suffering of so many innocent people cannot go on like this. We need a less intensive operation.
Wir brauchen eine
Germany's train drivers union called on its members to strike work this week. The union is demanding a reduction in working hours from 38 to 35 hours per week for shift workers, along with better wages from the state-owned rail operator Deutsche Bahn. The union will strike work in passenger transport services from Wednesday to Friday, but the freight transport drivers will go on strike on the 9th of January. The Russian and Ukrainian militaries remain in a fierce confrontation, conducting attacks and offensives on multiple fronts with the aim to destroy each other's military targets. On Sunday, Russia reported inflicting heavy casualties on Ukraine's troops and equipment. On the other hand, Ukraine claimed that it held its ground and disrupted Russian positions. Ukraine's deputy prime minister announced that his country has shipped 15 million metric tons of cargo through its Black Sea corridor since it was launched 5 months ago. 10 million tons consisted of agricultural products, which many countries rely on, especially in parts of Africa. The corridor was established in response to Russia's withdrawal from a 2022 UN-brokered Black Sea grain export agreement. Russia has also threatened to treat all vessels in the sea as potential military targets. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky held a meeting with visiting Japanese Foreign Minister Kamikawa Yoko in Kyiv on Sunday. It was the Japanese minister's maiden visit to Ukraine. Minister Kamikawa assured President Zelensky of Japan's continued support. She announced a Japan-Ukraine conference to be held on 19th February in order to express Japan's commitment to Ukraine's recovery and reconstruction.
Japan is determined to continue supporting Ukraine so that its peace can return and restore the beautiful land again. Japan has decided to allocate another $37 million to NATO's trust fund to provide equipment such as drone detection systems.
Relief operations are on in Japan after a deadly earthquake that hit the country last week. The death toll has risen to 160. Japanese soldiers are carrying out relief supplies to remote areas on foot. Japan released a video showing aid workers traversing rocky hillsides with backpacks, making their way towards isolated parts of the Ishikawa prefecture. Locals not only suffer from homelessness and power outages, but bad weather too, which has started to take its toll on the emergency response. The Japanese weather agency reported snowfall and severe cold. It's urged people in the disaster-hit areas to take extra precaution because quake-damaged buildings could collapse under the weight of snow and to stay warm to prevent hypothermia. Taiwan is reported to have detected 3 Chinese balloons flying over the Taiwan Strait. One of the balloons crossed over the southern tip of the island. Taiwan's defense ministry accused China of threatening its aviation safety and waging a psychological warfare just days before the 13th January presidential election. Similar balloons were observed in the Taiwan Strait last month. China said that its security agencies unearthed another incident of spying in which the British Secret Intelligence Service, also known as MI6, used a foreigner in China to collect secrets and information. China's Ministry of State Security revealed on its social media account that the foreigner in question was heading an overseas consulting agency. The MI6 established a relationship with the said person. Meanwhile, the UK government said that Chinese spies are targeting its officials in sensitive positions in politics, defense and business as part of a spying operation to gain access to UK's secrets. The US Congress has agreed to a $1.59 trillion spending deal aiming to avert a partial government shutdown later this month. The deal comes at a time when both the houses reach closer to the 19th January deadline for funds approval. Last year, both the houses could not come to an agreement on 12 annual bills for government funds for the fiscal year beginning October. The designated amount for defense spendings is $886 billion and $704 billion for non-defense spending, subject to an increase later. Bangladesh's Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's party, the Awami League, has won Sunday's election. She becomes the country's Prime Minister for the 5th time. It's her 4th consecutive term in office since 2008.
Bangladesh's Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has won Sunday's election for the 5th time. It is her 4th consecutive term in office since 2008. In Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina-led Awami League secured a majority in the 12th national election amid main opposition boycott.
Our people give me this opportunity. I am very simple, just a common person. I feel that I am just a common person. I have not that much education or nothing, but one thing, I always feel my responsibility for my people.
Daughter of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, founding father of Bangladesh, who was killed in an army coup in 1975, Hasina first became Prime Minister in 1996. In her past 15 years in power, she has been credited with turning around the economy and the massive garments industry, while winning international praise for sheltering Rohingya Muslims fleeing persecution in neighboring Myanmar. India and Bangladesh share a close and multifaceted relationship marked by historical, cultural and economic ties, which has strengthened more in the recent past. Bangladesh is India's biggest trading partner in South Asia. India is the second biggest trade partner of Bangladesh in Asia. Indian exports to Bangladesh touched above $16 billion. Total India-Bangladesh trade stood at $15.93 billion in financial year 2022-2023. Cooperation in the power and energy sector has become one of the important pillars of India-Bangladesh relations.
India is a great friend of Bangladesh. 1971, they supported us, and also 75, they gave shelter to us, me and my sister and myself, and also other family members. So India, we consider our next door neighbor, and we have many problems, but we solve it through bilaterally. So I really appreciate that with neighbor we have wonderful relationship.
Hasina's ruling party Awami League has won 2/3 of the seats in the general elections. Hasina will serve another 5 years in office after her party won 165 seats in the 300-seat parliament. Hasina won the Gopalganj 3 seat for the 8th time since 1986.
All right, now take a look at some more stories making news around the world. 5 regions of Spain have reintroduced a rule making the face mask compulsory in health facilities after a spike in flu and COVID-19 cases. The region of Valencia saw the second highest reported caseload in the country after Castilla-La Mancha. U.S. aircraft manufacturer Boeing's stock price tumbled in the Frankfurt Stock Exchange after a decision by the Federal Aviation Administration of the U.S. to ground certain Boeing 737 MAX 9 aircraft. Its shares marked a sharp decline of 7.52%. Anders Behring Breivik, who killed 77 people in a bombing and shooting rampage in Norway in 2011, has asked the court on Monday to end his isolation in prison, saying that it violates his human rights. The 44-year-old is also suing the state in a bid to lift restrictions on his correspondence with the outside world. Farmers in Germany started a week of nationwide protests on Monday in response to plans to phase out agricultural subsidies as the coalition government scrambles to fix its finances. Farmers have warned that an end to tax breaks will drive farms out of business. Still to come on DD India Live. India starts oil production from its flagship deep water project in the Krishna-Godavari basin off the coast of the southern state of Andhra Pradesh. Oppenheimer and Succession win top honors at the Golden Globes. And Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli return to India's T20I side for the Afghanistan series.
Wherever news breaks, whatever it takes.
Connecting corners, cutting across continents.
Stories that matter from across the globe.
Accurate, authentic journalism that serves you right. From politics to glamour, from sports to world affairs, with a fusion of aesthetics and substance. Introducing news in a new avatar. Experience the world through a new lens. Stay tuned to DD India for an exciting journey beyond borders.
You're watching DD India Live. I am Ramesh Ramachandran. India summoned Maldives' High Commissioner over remarks made by 3 of its ministers who have since been suspended. The top Maldivian diplomat in India was called to the Ministry of External Affairs in New Delhi. The government of Maldives has said that it's aware of the derogatory remarks on social media platforms against foreign leaders and high-ranking individuals. It said that these opinions are personal and do not represent the views of the government of Maldives. It said in a statement that the freedom of expression should be exercised in a democratic and responsible manner and in ways that do not spread hatred, negativity and hinder close relationships between Maldives and its international partners. The three suspended ministers are Mariam Shuina, Malsha Sharif and Mahzoom Majid. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi's recent visit to Lakshadweep has soared the popularity of India's smallest union territory among people across the country. It won't be surprising if one sees Lakshadweep as the next hot tourist destination, as it's one of the most searched words on social media this week. Tapas Bhattacharya reports.
Lakshadweep emerges as a picturesque paradise offering Indians a more affordable and equally enchanting alternative. As travelers set their sights on this untouched gem, the ripple effect on Maldives tourism becomes palpable. Will Lakshadweep steal the spotlight, redirecting the course of Indian travel preference? Let's watch this special report. In 2024, India's scenic Lakshadweep Islands have emerged as hidden gem thanks to a strategic move by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. His recent visit to Lakshadweep Islands showcased not just infrastructure development but also the breathtaking beauty of this untouched paradise. Prime Minister Modi's social media post featuring him snorkeling in crystal clear waters and relaxing on pristine beaches went viral, sparking a surge in Google searches about Lakshadweep. This newfound interest, with over 50,000 searches in a day, signals a potential tourism boon for Lakshadweep. The timing couldn't be more crucial. With Maldives, a once popular destination for Indians, facing diplomatic tensions and growing ties with China, Lakshadweep become a cost-effective alternative.
हमारी कंपनी पूरी होम ग्रोन मेड इन इंडिया कंपनी है और हमने रिसेंटली जो सोशल मीडिया पे चल रहा है, जो हमें बयान सुनने में मिल रहे हैं मालदीव्स के गवर्नमेंट के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव से, उसके तहत हमने डिसाइड किया है कि अब हम आगे से कोई भी मालदीव्स की बुकिंग एक्सेप्ट नहीं करेंगे। हमारे देश में 3 लाख लोग हर साल मालदीव जाते थे, अब वो इस ट्रिप पे ये फैसिलिटी अवेल नहीं कर पाएंगे।
इंडिया के सबसे ज़्यादा टूरिस्ट मालदीव जाते हैं और कोविड में हम ही ने उनकी इकोनॉमी को वो करा, पर जो मालदीव के मिनिस्टर्स ने हमारे इंडिया के प्राइम मिनिस्टर के खिलाफ और स्टेटमेंट्स दिए हैं, तो हमने अपनी कंपनी स्टिक ट्रैवल्स को कह दिया मालदीव भेजना बंद करो। और इंडियन चैम्बर ऑफ कॉमर्स की तरफ से मैं अपील करता हूँ टूर ऑपरेटर्स को, ट्रैवल एजेंट्स को, वेडिंग प्लानर्स को कि आप मालदीव की जगह इंडिया के जो आइलैंड हैं, जैसे लक्षद्वीप आइलैंड है, अंडमान निकोबार आइलैंड्स हैं, यहाँ पर अपने टूरिस्ट को भेजो।
The affordability of Lakshadweep compared to a Maldives is a game changer for budget-conscious Indian travelers. As Lakshadweep gains prominence on travel radar, it is not just a win for tourism, but a strategic move that might impact Maldives' economy, heavily reliant on tourism sector. Prime Minister Modi's call to explore Lakshadweep might just be the catalyst for a shift in Indian travel preference, potentially reshaping the dynamics of the regional tourism market. In the wake of the diplomatic shift, Lakshadweep rises as a cost-effective haven. Prime Minister Modi's endorsement sparks a surge, potentially reshaping the tourism sector. The fact that Lakshadweep is much cheaper than Maldives will give a huge impetus to the cost-sensitive Indian travelers. With camera person Uttam, this is Tapas Bhattacharya for DD India from Delhi.
India's energy production is set to rise as the country's state-owned oil and natural gas corporation kickstarts oil production from its flagship deep water project in the Krishna-Godavari basin off the coast of the state of Andhra Pradesh. Oil production is expected to touch 45,000 barrels per day and more than 10 million cubic meters of gas per day, which will contribute towards self-reliance in energy production. This project is expected to add 7% each to India's local oil and gas production. Gas production started in March 2020 with plans to ramp it up by May this year. The production of new oil will help India save more than $1.3 billion per year. India imports 85% of its crude oil requirements and about half of its natural gas needs. And Prime Minister Modi called it a remarkable move. He said on X, and I quote, "This is a remarkable step in India's energy journey and boosts our mission for an Atmanirbhar Bharat. It will have several benefits for our economy as well," unquote. Pakistan's top court on Monday scrapped lifelong disqualification of a person from holding public office, paving the way for former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif to run in next month's national election. The court reserved its judgment at the conclusion of a hearing on the removal of the ban on 5th January. The 2018 lifetime bar was the last obstacle for Sharif to contest the elections after his conviction for corruption were overturned last year. The Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra is being undertaken across India with the aim to inform people about the government welfare measures by ensuring that their benefits reach the targeted beneficiaries in a time-bound manner. It has garnered 110 million participants in just 50 days. The Yatra reached India's Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. An information, education and communication van reached the Udhampur district, where locals welcomed it with much enthusiasm. India's Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia addressed a Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra in the country's capital, New Delhi. The minister spoke about Prime Minister Modi's vision of making India a developed country by the year 2047. 5 Indian lawmakers, including Sukanta Majumdar of the BJP and Shrikant Eknath Shinde of the Shiva Sena, have been chosen for the prestigious Sansad Ratna Awards. The announcement was made on Sunday. The awards will be presented on 17th February. The Sansad Ratna Award is an annual recognition bestowed upon lawmakers for outstanding performance. And now take a look at what all went down at the 81st Golden Globe Awards, which celebrates the best in TV and film.
The 81st Golden Globe Awards honored the best of television and film on Sunday in California's Beverly Hills. The star-studded ceremony brought celebrities together for the first time after 6 months of strikes by actors and writers in 2023. In television, HBO's Succession won 4 Golden Globes, including Best Drama Series.
This is really heavy. Thank you, Jesse, for casting me in this, and Francine for putting me in front of Jesse. And this show is, it's changed my life.
Netflix's Beef also made waves, winning Best Limited Series as well as Best Male and Female Performances for Stephen Yeun and Ali Wong. The Bear won the Best Comedy Series, while star Jeremy Allen White won Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Musical or Comedy category. In movies, Oppenheimer swept major categories including Best Motion Picture Drama. Christopher Nolan bagged Best Director for the film, while Cillian Murphy and Robert Downey Jr. won Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor respectively.
I can only accept this on behalf of people. As directors, we bring people together and we try and get them to give of their best. And Robert, Cillian, my partner in crime of 20 years, Matt, wherever you went, and Florence and Emily, just the incredible work of our amazing crew.
Emma Stone was named Best Actress in a Motion Picture, Comedy or Musical for her performance in gothic comedy Poor Things. The honors for 81st Golden Globes were selected by a new group of 300 entertainment journalists from around the world, a move that followed heavy criticism around the voting panel's diversity and ethics.
The Hollywood's annual award season will culminate with the Oscars on March 10, 2024. Akriti Bhandari for DD India.
In sports news, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli have been recalled to India's T20I team after more than a year for a 3-match series against Afghanistan starting in Mohali on 11th January. The duo last played a T20 match for India when it lost the World Cup semi-final to England in Adelaide in November 2022. Sharma and Kohli had not been selected in the shortest format of the game since then. Sharma would captain the side against Afghanistan as Hardik Pandya continues to remain out of action because of an injury. The second T20I will take place on 14th January and the third on 17th January. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of DD India Live. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram. You can also check out our website, ddindia.co.in. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I am Ramesh Ramachandran. From all of us here in New Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.